this video, we will see the description of reaction turbine, and we will also see what is the diagram of blade extension for the reaction turbine. In case of reaction turbines, the pressure drop takes place in the fixed blade and moving blade. Okay. We have discussed that the pressure drop, this is fixed blade, this is moving blade, fixed blade or nozzle. Pressure drop in the fixed blade, that this is P1 pressure at the inlet to the fixed blade, and P2 is the pressure at the exit to the moving blade, or you can say at the entry to the moving blade. This is P2. Further, pressure drop takes place as far as the reaction turbines are concerned. This is the P3 pressure. This pressure drop P2 minus P3 will gives you the reaction force. Reaction force at exit to the moving blade. Okay, because in this region, in the moving blade part, the pressure drop takes place. As the pressure drop takes place, there is an increment in the velocity. That velocity is the relative velocity, because as the motion enters in the moving blade, this is moving blade, motion enters or steam enters at the moving blade at the velocity of VR1 and exit at the VR2. The increment in the velocity takes place. It's this increment in velocity create a reactive force at the exit to the velocity, at the exit to the moving blade. Okay, so we can also see on HS diagram. This is saturation curve, x equal to 1. This is saturation curve. Let the steam enters and flows in this way. This is the fixed blade or nozzle. So we can say this drop in the enthalpy is called as delta H in the fixed blade. This is the enthalpy drop in the fixed blade, and further this steam enters into the moving blade. So we can say that this is the delta H enthalpy drop in the moving blade. Okay, so enthalpy drop takes place in the fixed blade as well as in the moving blades, whereas in the impulse turbine the pressure or enthalpy drop takes place only in the fixed blade. This is the major difference in the reaction turbine. And so we can say the driving force in this case, in case of reaction turbine, is partly impulsive and partly reactive. This is partly impulsive, this is partly reactive. That's why this reaction turbine is also called as impulse reaction turbine. Okay, so now another major concern is, in case of reaction turbines, the fixed blade are fixed to the casing. and the moving blades are fixed to the rotor of the turbine. Okay, this can be seen in this diagram. This is the casing or stator, stationary part. This is the stationary part of the turbine. This stationary part is, or you can say, the nozzles or fixed blades are attached to this. This is fixed blade or nozzle. Okay, and further moving blades are arranged on the rotor. This is moving blade. This is moving blade. This is rotor. This is rotor. On the rotor, moving blades are arranged, and on the casing or stator, the fixed blade or nozzles are arranged. Okay, this is one stage, and in this fashion, there are various nozzles or there are various fixed blade and moving blades are arranged. This is one stage. Similarly, these blades are arranged on this fashion. So now we can see the velocity triangle for the impulse turbine. This absolute velocity has two components. This is VW1 and this is VF1. Okay, and at the exit velocity triangle, this is VR1, this is VR2, this is VR2, and the angle is beta 2. This is V2, this is V2 and alpha 2 angle. This V2 absolute velocity at the exit is divided into two components. This is VW2 in this direction and VF2. This is a flow velocity at the exit, and this is the linear velocity of the rotor. Okay, so as such there is no difference in the structure, but there is a basic difference in the velocity diagram. This is the velocity diagram for the reaction turbine. There you can see major key points for the reaction turbine. First one is this: VR2 is greater than VR1. Relative velocity at the exit is greater than relative velocity at the exit of the moving blade, because you can see in this range, when the pressure drop takes place, at the expense of pressure drop, the velocity increases. Velocity increases in this region, the velocity is relative velocity, because this is a moving blade, and the steam enters moving blade with the velocity of relative velocity VR1, VR2, and exit to the VR2. As the pressure drop, and at that amount velocity is increases. That's why VR2 is greater than VR1 in the case of reaction turbine. Second point, you can see, you can write here, because pressure drop takes place in moving blade also. Hence, this is greater than V1. And second point is beta 1 is greater than beta 2. This is because of aerodynamic shape of the blade. This is due to the aerodynamic blades. As far as we know that the beta 1 is equal to beta 1 in case of impulse turbine, but here the beta 1 is greater than beta 2. Okay. And third point is this: here the flow velocity Vf1 is equal to Vf2, almost is written as Vf. That is no axial thrust developed. In this case, in the reaction turbine, there is no axial thrust developed because we have considered, in this case, flow velocity is almost constant. Okay. So these are some key points which you can remember. The example of such kind of turbines are Parsons turbine. Parsons 50% reaction turbines. Another example is Heroes 100% reaction turbine. Okay. So first point is VR2 is greater than VR1. So here in this diagram I also showed that VR1 is lesser than VR1, length of the VR1 vector is less than the length of the vector VR2. Okay, this is the major difference, otherwise the diagram is almost same. And now we can calculate blade or diagram efficiency for reaction turbine. Efficiency, we know that the blade or diagram efficiency is the output divided by input. Output is the work done at the shaft output. Okay, so we have calculated the work done at the shaft output is VW1 plus VW2 into U. The formula remains same because this is the only force, this is the only velocity which is responsible for the rotation of the rotor, that is the driving force. Okay, so the formula remains same, but the VR1, VW1, VW2 values a little bit change. Okay, and divide by the heat supplied or energy supplied. Energy supplied, you can say the energy supplied in the fixed blade is the kinetic energy half m V1 square. V1 is the inlet velocity, exit velocity at the fixed blade or the moving blade. Okay, plus this is the energy at the fixed blade, and moving blade, the energy supplied at the moving blade is VR2 square minus VR1 square divided by 2 multiplied by m, half mv square. This is the energy supplied at the moving blade. Okay, this is the total energy supplied to the turbine. Okay, and this is the numerator is the output work done at the shaft. Okay, so this is the blade or diagram efficiency in case of friction turbine. Okay, this denominator you can see again the total energy supplied. This is the energy supplied in the fixed blade. This is the energy supplied in the fixed blade, because in the fixed blade there is a nozzle, so at the nozzle there is a energy available is kinetic energy, and in the moving blade the energy available is the kinetic energy also, because there is a pressure drop also. That's why at this expense the moving blade also have the change in kinetic energy. So the total energy is the summation of kinetic energy at the fixed blade and kinetic energy at the moving blade. Okay, this is the